Tell you that I belong to you. I am very much part of you. We are all the people who have taken the responsibility of the health of not only yourselves, but your families also, your communities, and finally our country. And not just our country, finally, as we say, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. And we are all an integral part of that, and we need to take responsibility for that. When do we take responsibility for something? Would you take responsibility for a pothole in that road that came to the CII building? Some may say yes, some may say, most of them may say no. We take responsibility when we think that we belong to them. If the same thing was in front of your house, probably you would ask for some municipal authority to fill up that place. So when we have all taken, and I'm so grateful to CII, because CII is doing that job of creating that responsibility, a collective responsibility for all of us, to be doing the good things for humanity at large. So with that, I want to tell you that when I came here this morning also, it took a long time, although I came from just about 5 kilometers from here, but it has taken a long time. And this has now become a rhetoric in Hyderabad that people say that coming towards Madhapur, Gachibowli, etc. takes a very, very long time in the morning and in the evening also when you're returning, right? Why? Because there are so many cars, there are so many people, there are so many people with disposable incomes, and therefore they are buying more and more cars, bigger and bigger cars. One guy in a 5-seater car. I mean, all of these happen to be certain circumstances in which we are associating ourselves, maybe with a prestige, maybe with a comfort, maybe with something. But then that's what is happening. But for that, a collective responsibility of some people in the world have given rise to electronic vehicles, EVs, electric vehicles. And therefore, we are seeing that the EVs in number in the roads are, increasing by huge numbers, and therefore able to contribute to a better environment in our cities and in our world at large. Is that happening to the same extent in our industries? I am not sure. But I am very happy that at least a body like CII and others have started this in the industry as well. And as I speak, there are very distinguished people in the industry who have taken it upon themselves, and you heard many of them in the morning first plenary session also. There are regulators, there are industry people, there are government people in that body who have all shown the same sensitivity. But when it comes to when does the rubber hit the road is when it goes to the details, as we say, in the industry, as Dr. Srinivas just now showed us a lot of details here. There is what it starts making a big difference again. And therefore, I'm more than happy to be, making this group talk more about what's happening regarding greenhouse gases, regarding green chemistry, regarding sustainability, etc. And I have a very distinguished panel here. Let me just, although Mr. Chakravarti has just now read out the brief introduction to each one of them, I have Mr. Ram Kumar sitting next to me here. He's the COO of Pi Health Sciences, a transformation specialist with deep experience in global API and CDMO operations and strategy and ESG integration. A very bright mind in this area, and we are all actually very lucky to have him here in this group with us. Second, I have to my left Mr. Sandeep Tarate. He has been through so many companies. He has contributed to the success of so many companies, and he's the managing director right now for something that's a little difficult to pronounce. That's called Tiefenbacher. It's Tiefenbacher Group in India. He's a leader in affordable global healthcare, operational excellence. See, we are all talking about something which 10 years ago was never getting discussed. Operational excellence, HP, API manufacturing, and digital transformation. Exactly what the next generation of pharma industry needs to know, needs to implement, needs to get results out of. Welcome, Sandeep. I also have Dr. Narendra Revanuri. He is the CEO of Anax, who is also a sponsor for this program here, and a specialist in advanced synthetic chemistry, custom R&D, and CRO, CDMO innovation. So is it really difficult? Welcome, doctor. Is it really difficult to do sustainability? First of all, we are talking about saving lives. And therefore, I'm okay being a little semi-formal in this talk. I hope that you are also okay. So what we say is that, yaar, pehle jaan bachao. Drugs have to be made. These have to be given to patients, have to be given to citizens. They have to start living more rather than die early. And therefore, in that path, even if it means, that we have to compromise a few things, it can be okay. This was the thought. I say again, this was the thought. Now, predominantly, there is a big shift. There is a huge wave coming due to various socio, geo-political reasons that we have to comply with all of this. And finally, what we find, if we sit down on a table and look at this with details, we'll find that these are all for the good of humanity only. It's not just for the good of any one political party or one country or somebody like that. And therefore, that we as company, pharmaceutical companies, are putting more effort into sustainability now, rather than only making a product, only making it best way to sell, lowest cost, etc. We have gone past that. So is a good quality of the product or high efficiency of the product not required? Yes, it is. But now that is the license to operate. Without that, you cannot operate at all. It's like how you take an FDA license before manufacturing a product. It's like that. This is not going to determine your success. This is rhetoric. I mean, since morning we have heard this a lot. So this is where we are now standing. And fortunately or unfortunately, you might find that the organization that you belong to yourself may or may not be subscribing to this idea totally. Now, what will happen when you go from here is, of course, you will go with a lot of thoughts, a lot of inputs, a lot of inspiration that things have to be done the right way and the best way. But then the problem lies when it comes to, as I said, when the rubber hits the road, there's a lot of heat generated. You will have to find ways of getting your people think your way, think this way, and come around with suggestions. What helps doing that? Any businessman, if he even looks at a 1% improved turnover due to some things that you do, he's obviously game. So it's for people like us, and I can see a lot of EHS, ESG people sitting here. So if we are able to negotiate with our leaderships, with all the people who own companies here, with all such leaders, that this is a good way to go and that this is a longer kind of a leap that we need to take. We are not here for a short-term gain. This is not a short-term gain. This is a long-term gain game. But again, this is inevitable. If you don't do it now, you'll have to do it tomorrow with an interest on it. And day after will be with a double interest on it. So it's better that we all, pull up our socks and start doing various things towards sustainability. And then for us, obviously today, thanks to CII again, and thanks to Chakravarti Garu, that, this whole thing got, we got assembled, the four of us, and that I have a set of questions for them. I start with you, Mr. Ramkumar. Can I? You have said, what are the top transformation levers, especially, when it comes to reducing carbon intensity in APIs and, let's say, CDMO kind of businesses?
Yeah, so I'll take it as a four top levers.
You want to put it on.
Yeah, so we actually work on this because we are basically into CDMO. So, and there are a lot of drive comes from our customer as well, because every our customer has got their scope 1, scope 2 emissions reduction by 2030, 2050, 2070, and we are all part of their scope 3. So they usually share a lot of practices with us, and which helps us to reduce our carbon footprint. So I would consider there are four top levers. One is the process intensification or a process optimization. How do we optimize the process? Can we, a lot of things have been said in the morning. Instead of using a batch, can we use a continuous flow? I would proudly say our parent company, which is PA Industries, we do a flow in a very, very significant quantities. We used to manufacture something like 21 metric ton per day. One of the product, it's all continuous flow, which is quite unimaginable. In India, I think we are the largest producer using the flow. And also, can we reduce the solvent consumption on this lever, and also try to optimize the number of steps? Can we reduce the material input per kg of product? This is the highest impact. So how do we optimize the process, and how do you reduce your solvent consumption? The second lever is the energy efficiency and electrification. So when we look at the scope 2 emissions, Are we using a fossil fuels for our boiler? Can we replace it with biobriquettes? And also, can we optimize our chillers, boilers, HVACs? Can we use a heat pump instead of going for a hot water generation by a fossil fuel? And also, can we get into optimize the complete utility system with advanced controls? Can we get into VFDs? These all will reduce our energy efficiency, and also electrification of boiler. Now we are getting into electrification of boiler, which completely reduce your emissions through chimneys, flue gases. So if we directly get into electric for boilers, it reduces the scope on emissions. And the third lever, what we use is basically how do we get into renewable energy? Can we create on-site solar panels? Can we get into buy the renewable energy sources through a power purchasing agreement? This completely reduces your scope 2 emissions. This is the third lever we use. And the fourth lever, I think a lot of things talked about Dr. Srinivas in the previous session. How do we reduce our solvent consumption? How do we reduce our improve our atom economy? Because one of the highest consumption in all our API manufacturing is solvent. Can we go for a greener alternatives? So these four levers will definitely reduce a lot of scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 emissions.
Excellent. Thank you for putting it in bullets, the four clear bullets. One corollary question I had for you, just because it's a continuation, is that you said so many things about how the industry is now looking at things. Typically, you might have taken a few chemical engineers, maybe a few engineers to manage your utilities, etc. How does the complexion of your facilities change? What new skills are you recruiting in order to manage all of these things? When I say you, I don't mean your company alone, but what's the industry doing in that respect? And are there enough such skilled people available in the market?
No, this is now is emerging. Earlier, we not focused on this. Now, if you see each and every company, at least they have a sustainability function. Earlier, this function was not there at all. We have a centralized function on a sustainability. We have a lot of chemical engineers. We have a tools. So we actually measure, monitor, then we review, report, and again you work on the how do we start from every year. So a lot of chemical engineers and environment specialists are required, and I think that is right now. If you look at some companies who are more evolved, having these functions, and they're working on it, but a lot of things to be done on this, and mostly the skills required, I would say, kind of chemical engineers who can understand the overall process, where they can optimize the scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 emissions. And also the operational excellence team also can support to this as a overall holistically. And nowadays we are getting into all the ESG reporting, and we also have a targets. And some companies are doing it, but I would say it's still a long way to go.
Great, thank you. I hear you say that, yes, we are not yet ready. We're just about getting started. Therefore, the ecosystem has to mature. There'll be more people who are chemical engineers, maybe getting trained in environmental, etc., who will be able to do better. But at the moment, we are still in infancy, and lot more. This is actually should be very great news for institutes. When you talk about industry institute collaboration and all that, there are so many colleges and institutes who can start probably, divisions in environmental science much greater than what is being taught today, so that it's much more practical and usable to the industry around. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I come to you, Sandeep. How do we balance decarbonization with affordability in a global market? And we are sitting in the center of the global market, sourcing from India, which is Hyderabad. So how do you say that? How does that happen?
Hello. Thanks for this question. Just before answering to question, I would like to where I come from or what I represent here.
Sure.
So I am representing Tiffin Bar Group. So this is the company just pioneering healthcare since 1963. So this company is German company. Here in Hyderabad, we are having our research operations and manufacturing. So research is, we are into general products and high potent. So we have 2 research labs here, one for general category products and one into high potent. And similarly, we have manufacturing blocks for general category products and high potent blocks. Why I am saying this? Because we are having the purpose of manufacturing medicines and making them better than before, better available and better available. So to make this purpose, we are growing, and our growth contributes positively to the patients, society and planet. So if we have to do this and make affordable medicines and still keeping in mind sustainability, then it's about, very first thing is that you start early. So in this case, we cannot delay further. So it is the high time that we should start. So first thing I will say that if someone has not started it on sustainability initiatives, start early is the key. And starting is right from your development. So I have given this background because we are development and all this, because right from development sustainability starts. So my colleagues from development team, procurement, engineering, manufacturing, all are participating here. And how they are looking into how they are building just products into sustainability is that, uh, can we have a simple process? Can we have just minimum steps into the process which contributes to higher yields, lower process times, lower energy consumptions? Can we avoid solvents, go with aqueous process? Can we have packaging materials, those are of sustainable materials? So like now every pharma company is using this multi-layered, multiple component kind of packaging systems into blisters. If we go into mono blisters, mono material blisters like PE or PET blisters, then definitely it will be easy to recycle. So that will definitely help in just almost 40% of just we can say recyclability or just carbon load we can get relief. So right from the development, another one is like procurement. It is the sustainable procurement we should have. Yes, we should have all our partners. Just we should have some contracts with partners to just monitor them about their carbon emissions and report them. We can have incentivize, just we can also invest in our partners to make them sustainable. We can have some longer contracts, those who are dealing with sustainability. So nowadays sustainability is definitely, earlier many speakers have told that it is not a choice anymore. It is mandatory kind of a thing. We all, if we have to be competitive in the market, we must have this sustainability initiatives.
True.
So these are the things we can still do, and make sure that cost is one of the element we should always keep in mind. So cost, if you are having in mind, and if you have to focus on the energy, then renewable energy is one thing which first comes into the mind. If you are focusing on renewable energy in every aspect, then definitely it will help to meet all these requirements, and still you will be able to meet the affordability in the global market.
Correct. Thank you so much. I think what you're saying is, just I'm rewording it, is that so far we have been looking at sustainability and ESG and all this with a corner of the eye. He is saying that now let us look at its eye straight, and then know that it is not that easy, but you will have to do it either today or tomorrow. And so look at it eye to eye, get solutions. There are no ready-made solutions, but there can be solutions that come out of collaboration. That's what he said, that there are so many places, so many other bodies with which you need to collaborate. And I think in the morning plenary session also I heard that this is something that is not directly related to a competition to your product. And therefore there has to be much more collaboration on this field, at least among our peers and industry leaders, where we can learn more. And what he is saying is that yes, affordability could be an immediate issue, but then if you work on it and come out with collaborations, there are people and pockets in this world, this country and in this city as well, who are experts in doing certain things that you may not be able to. And believe me, when I have done the digitalization, and then finally we got the World Economic Forum's Advanced Digital Lighthouse for one of the largest plants of Dr. Reddy's labs, I have seen that you cannot work in isolation. The world of me as the hero has gone. I am the hero with 100 people supporting me, 100 people giving their technologies. I have to cooperate. I have to collaborate. Only then we can see success. And that's exactly what I'm hearing him saying. And therefore, that's a key point, which is something to take home, that don't ever think that let me do it, let me try, it may take 5 years, but I will do it. Why? Next to you, next door, there is somebody who is already has done it. And so he is having some expertise. Maybe it comes at a cost, or maybe it comes free if it's a collaborative, CII kind of effort or something like that. But look at those options. That's an important key element that you're saying. So Sandeep, going further is that future facilities to be a net zero facility, are there some basic design features that are now coming up as some concrete points that can be talked about?
Yeah, definitely. So sustainability, when you have in mind, then it starts from the design itself. So recently we have our high potent facility operational. So we designed it very recently. So while designing in high potent manufacturing, like proper pressure gradient or pressure cascade, if we make, then definitely it will help us to have optimum utilization of HVAC system. So you can contain your high potent API into processing room. So and others area, maybe you can have
A different HVAC
different
system.
ACH, you can air changes.
Okay.
So non-processing area you may optimize with the lower ACH. Or you can also adopt something like just demand-based kind of ventilation systems. We have now this all automated things, so EMS, BMS systems are there.
Correct.
So when the isolators are closed, then ACH may be lower. So that's the logic we are operating. And if we have to do it all manually, then efficiency is very difficult to achieve. That's why automation is important. So HVAC, I am talking more because HVAC is something which eats your maximum energy.
50% of the energy is
almost
guzzled by
nowadays,
HVACs.
if we have to talk about high potent, it will eat your almost up to 70% of energy, I will say, rough cut. So HVAC, you need to optimize with respect to air changes as well. So whatever the required air changes are there, you do it. So it all you have to do on based on your air particulate count. You have to consider all the design aspects in such a way that your all facility finishes are also like epoxy flooring, the covings, all that. What makes you help that you create less particles in the room. Less particles means you can optimize your air changes. So that will help in this optimization. Second thing is like temperature settings, humidity condition settings. You can go to the minimum required. So you can have better systems. If the 25 degrees your temperature requirement, then you may set at 24. No need to set at 17 or 18.
True.
So some settings optimizations will be there. Very basic things we can consider into the design that will definitely help us. When equipments we have to design nowadays, like blowers, don't go with like conventional fans. Energy efficient fans are available for HVAC systems. Motors are coming like energy efficient motors. Just no need to give steam supply to HVAC systems. So heat pumps are available nowadays. So those are energy efficient options. So various energy efficient options, even for process equipments. We have standard equipments available and energy efficient equipments available. While selection of our equipment, we are having standard and energy efficient options. We have selected the equipment which is having just like fluid bed equipment most of the companies are using. So fluid bed equipment, we chose the one which is having largest expansion chamber. So which gives us highest drying efficiency. If we think about our investment cost at initially, it may be little higher. But if we think about sustainability or long-term benefits, then we are getting benefits out of it.
Absolutely. Well
So
said.
it will give almost 30% better efficiency with respect to drying. So it has optimized twin chamber design for the back shaking, which in terms gives you better drying area and drying results. While coating machines also nowadays are coming with energy efficient HVAC systems and all that. So we have to select between the what is energy efficient. So initially it may be heavy on your pocket, but later on it will give all the benefits. Process time will go down significantly, and that will give you benefits.
Very
So
good.
all these are definitely you can address while designing. Later on it will be very difficult to replace.
Oh, you're making a very important point. Thank you. You're saying let it be little high capex, but it will be low opex. And on the longer term, it's going to stand with you for a longer time. And another thing I hear you say is very important. And that, if you think of a manual way of, let's say, shutting down HVACs or reducing it or increasing it because the isolator is on or it is closed or etc., leveraging digital technologies and leveraging many other such technologies has now become a necessity. Will plain vanilla ice cream work? So plain vanilla may be very, very easy for making. But then today they want a sundae. I don't know if there is another ice cream called Monday coming up, but the sundaes are a complex set of, so many things into that bowl of glass. So like that, life is getting into complexity. But life, again, I am thankful to all the scientific endeavor in this world that, so many discoveries and inventions are happening which are helping us to navigate that complexity. Life is going to become complex, but there are ways of navigating through them and therefore still continuing to make the products. Finally, all said and done, of course you have to make money, but more than that is you are saving lives. We are not here to make a better coat or a jacket or a car even for that matter. It is about saving lives. And therefore, any effort that goes towards that, I'm sure, is going to be very useful. Thank you. You have told so many things now which are very, very important. I come to you, Doctor. Dr. Narendra. A simple question that I wanted to ask you was, are sustainable formulations or process development that reduce solvents and energy consumption, are these energy load or whatever that you call, are these very easy to do? Is it being done? How much do you think it's being done?
That's a very valid question. Like, you really don't water the whole plant, you water the roots.
Oh, nice.
So that's what we believe in, the answer to this question. When you're talking about the larger scales of, making it a decarbonization of the plant levels or, tonnage scale productions, I always feel that it's we need to pay a very essential, details on the lab scale development itself. And one big elephant in that way is solvent selection. Okay, there is no good solvent or a bad solvent, even when we talk about water as a solvent in most of the conditions. There are many experts say that, why don't you choose a water as a replacement for the solvent? End of the day, I call it as an effluent. So whether you go for a greener solvents like methyl THF or syrenes kind of a thing, when the process is happening, it's very, very important that the solvent selection has to be taken very well into the consideration. At the same time, doing your job done in an efficient manner, not compromising on the yields, and not increasing the price per kg of the product, whatever we're making. See, end of the day, if my organization, if I say I can make a very good green chemistry solvent switch and I'll make a high potent molecule, which is way high expensive, end of the day, the price sensitive customer may not take it. I mean, at least that mindset is still not on. So to your question, what I can say is that solvent selection is good thing. It's like asking a known devil is a good or a bad devil. I mean, unknown devil is good to marry. I say known devil is a bit better, but end of the day, it's a devil.
That's true. And attaching it to a marriage is also a little funny. I hope our spouses are not listening to all of this. Yeah. So I think it's a basic challenge for finding. So many of the pharmaceutical products are all organic molecules, big molecule weight sometimes, and they are all very easily soluble in some organic solvents. But the challenge is that now no longer are those solvents going to be that useful, especially coming with a sustainability point of view. And therefore, it's difficult, and it's a big challenge put on the R&Ds. So if the R&Ds think that there are so many technologies now that are available that can help them, it is here that they need to put their brains on. It is here that they will have to work on. Because again, as we have been seeing since morning, that a company will be known not just for the quality of its products and prices, but also for how good a socially responsible corporate citizen that company is or that product is. So thank you for that. So one thing I wanted to ask you, while you said that a solvent can be made into a water-based component or something like that, do you think it will also impact the portfolio of products that you may think of, you or any company may think of, and the regulatory readiness for that?
That's a very tricky question. I can say the compound readiness or whatever kind of a product we are intending to plan may not be, the water selection cannot be a wider selection, or it cannot be a standalone selection. It's not possible. Talking basic chemistries, sometimes we have to go for a little bit harsher chemicals, but the whole game is like the dose is a poison over here. How lower the volumes you can reduce in your process development or in R&D development, that should make one thing. Of course, selecting the much more hazardous solvents are not being used, or as a general practice in the industry due to the regulatory constraints. So most of the people, unless and until the chemistry really demands, those solvents in a very lower, doses, we're not switching to those kind of, or probably we're not opting for, those kind of harsh solvents anyway.
So I'm hearing you that yes, we have to make our product profiles, whatever that I want to make and sell. This will be a huge decision point of whether I can make it without solvents. If that is the leap of faith that you have taken, that yes, I am going to save the world from environmental disaster, so maybe a product molecule X, I will keep it aside. I'll rather go for a product Y, maybe in the same therapeutic area or whatever else. But be able to do that. And that if I am still compelled that I have to take up this particular molecule, then I'll see how I can compensate for the environmental impact that it is creating. That's very, very interesting. Are there any, I continue with you, please. Green chemistry levers.
Okay.
How good are they, or in custom synthesis?
I can say green chemistry is no longer a moral option for us. It's a massive lever for us.
Oh.
In sense of cost, efficiency. One thing already what we discussed is a solvent selection, and the other thing is biocatalysis. We are using so many biocatalysis and the enzymatic reactions, which can cut down like 3 to 4 steps of reaction in a single step using the enzymatic reactions or biocatalyst kind of a thing. Even I can say the recent example which happened with myself. There are very critical bond displacements which I have to do, not disturbing the chiral centers of the molecule. We tried a couple of conventional methods which goes for almost 5 to 6 steps with very difficult and crucial separations and isolations. And we just thought, why don't we try one particular catalyst like that? And we procured that and we initiated. Surprisingly, can you believe me, the reaction went in a room temperature, water solvent, and the yields are like 80 to 90%.
Wow.
It's very easy to convert. What I can say is the one such lever is like we need to switch to the catalyst, the biocatalyst. That's one big lever. It will benefit the organization, and at the same time, it will help in making the earth more greener. The second part is telescopic reactions. Not everybody, maybe a mid-size or a small-size organization may or may not, immediately switch to the, flow chemistry, because the flow chemistry requires a different expertise and different approaches, of course. There are a lot of constraints on that. There are a few, methods like telescopic reaction methods, wherein consider a 4-stage reaction. You have a 1-step done, and you do a workup. You stop, you do a filtration or distillation, whatever, and go to the next step. Whenever you stop, you are creating a waste.
True.
So the whole point is, can we optimize this 3 steps or a 4 step of a reaction in a single vessel without the necessity or the use of purifying each intermediate and going ahead. So this kind of telescopic reactions can be implemented. Those are not too complex to do that. That will save quenching, waste, and tremendous effluents or discharging of some of the catalysts like hazardous catalysts, which can be of a safety concerns also. So these are few leverages, what we can take, and these are very good levers.
Very good. I just loved it, what you just now said.
Thank you.
Because even after digitalization, another thing that our company has embarked on is lean manufacturing. And one step beyond, it's not just manufacturing. Lean is normally associated with manufacturing, but we're also looking at lean in commercial processes. If there is a process, you can always make something called as a value stream map, and you can see that there are plenty of wastes. And the one thing that you said about the telescopic manufacturing removes all those wastes. And the previous example that you said, which is using water as solvent and all that, is like sone pe suhaga. And I am sure that this kind of a thing is giving you a much better price and affordability, and therefore you'll get a much better market.
And thicker margins too.
And margins, yeah, bigger margins. So it's exactly that sweet spot that we need to find. So if there is R&D, R&D is no longer limited to only science. I hope I'm making myself clear that there is so much research that can be done in terms of how you can make something happen. The non-science part of the entire thing as well. It's not just about a double bond and a single bond and how you are putting a lubricant or a granulating agent or whatever. It's much beyond. And therefore, when we are sitting with so many leaders here in this hall, it's all about novelty in our leadership views and leadership attitudes and what we execute finally. There can be theories and theories. There can be much larger rooms than this where we can still talk of, so many theories. But then finally it's about implementing. So thank you very much for that question. I have one question, maybe you can answer, is that if you had to pick one technology or initiative that will fundamentally shift the pharma energy efficiency space in the next 5 years, what will that be? See, the briquette-based boilers and all that is now past. Not everyone has implemented, but now it is past. So what do you think could be a technology which will stand in the next 5 years?
It's a flow chemistry and biocatalysis.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flow and biocatalysis. These two things, yeah.
Okay.
Because right now, pharma is getting into it. I can say in pharma right now, I know only one company is doing it in India on the flow on a commercial side. I think everybody is working on it. So that will be the future in next 2-3 years. The flow chemistry and biocatalysis.
So this is going to make a big difference.
Big difference, yes.
Very good. So those who are in the audience who are in the same business area can take a cue from here. And an expert is already telling us that this is going to be the... You have any, maybe on the formulation side or anything else like that?
So on the formulation side, if we have to focus, then just on operational efficiency also we need to focus a lot, because it is not then one solution, but it is like a packet of small solutions. So we call it as kaizens. No? So it will be on right from your dispensing operations to dispatch operations. Everything you have to just value map, and then you have to find opportunities.
Right.
So throughout the life cycle. So what are the opportunities for improvement? So I will give few examples, like if you have to grading operations and you have to take out oversize, undersize operations. Instead of using conventional shifter, if you go for double deck shifter, you are getting lot of efficiency, and that's you just get energy efficiency and energy saving. Nowadays, if you think of conventional motors for this small saving equipment, so there are equipments available which operates at 0.5 HP of the motor. Instead of going for bigger motors, like you go for the smaller motors for the equipment. Just filter bag cleaning is some common just process happening nowadays in tablet manufacturing. And I was having FB in my previous company, which was having 75 HP of the motor capacity. And that motor was being used for drying of filter bag. So by simple washing machine usage, so we could save that. So it is very easy example, but it is contributing a lot. So adding dehumidification into the dryer also helped us almost 20% saving on the drying time. These are all real life examples. In my previous company, I was given one target to reduce overall turnaround time, and result and monitoring KPI is like air to sea ratio.
Correct.
Just how many shipments are going by air and how many shipments are going by sea.
See.
So that was something commercial, given commercial thought process was there in the target. It was definitely a commercial idea. But if we look into the same idea, sustainability point of view, choosing sea route of transportation is definitely gives you less carbon just intensive
True.
just mode of transport.
And also being affordable, more affordable.
Affordability and commercial angle is there.
Absolutely.
But if you choose environment and sustainability, you should optimize your all planning operations and make sure that there are no back orders. All your orders are going through sea route.
Absolutely.
And thus you can contribute. So instead of putting one initiative, I am asking to do a life cycle analysis completely throughout the product and find out opportunities. So instead of focusing on one, just find many small opportunities for improvement.
Excellent. I think everyone here is hearing from you what they are hearing from their bosses as well. Do all the things, but finally I want to go by sea and not by air, because I have also worked on all of that. It needs efforts on multiple dimensions to make that happen. It may look like a simple sea versus air equation, but it is much more than that. You need to have a robust process. You need to have robust materials going into the process. You need to have a good lean methodology and a flow within your shop floors. Everything together finally leads to that kind of a metric. For sure.
The 5S concept which was developed by Toyota still not penetrating into the pharma.
True.
It's already there in automobile, and the quality circle which is formed in Maruti Suzuki, they have saved around 500 crores.
True.
So small quality circles will improve a lot.
I agree. And with a little bit of arrogance, let me tell you that after my operations of 30 years and digital transformation work for 3 years, now I am exactly doing what you said. In pharma, very few people have actually adopted to operations excellence, the way it is done in the automotive sector, in the FMCG sector, many other sectors. But pharma, for some reason, as we said, कि पहले दवाई बनाओ यार.
Most of regulations, they are not allowed to do this. That is the problem.
I agree. No, it's a myth. Thank you, Chakravarti sir, for saying that. No, because it's actually, we are trying to hide behind that. I'm sorry, I'm being frank, but we are not only trying to be, hiding behind that. There is no holy cow. The rules are there. You are supposed to drive a car only if you have a license. You bloody well have a license. Then go and drive a car. After that, you drive a Maruti car or you drive a BMW. It's up to you. So, if we want to hide behind excuses for not wanting to do certain things, it's wrong. Even if companies or corporations have been doing this so far, it is time they wake up. I'm sure they will, because if you don't wake up, the world will wake you up. You will have to do it one day. And I'm precisely doing what you are saying in my organization right now.
Part of the quality cycle for India, so we are implementing this 5S and
Correct. And again, let me tell you, there are many companies which are doing very great things, but I can tell you more about what my organization does. In fact, the operations head, and now after the HR head resigned, this same person is also the HR head for the company now. He's not at all a pharmaceutical person. For your interest, I am from Dr. Reddy's laboratories, and the operations head and the HR head put together has come from Coca-Cola, Mr. Sanjay Sharma. But he's already 8 years into this company now and done wonderfully. And under him, there is another operations excellence person that he only kind of brought. The concepts were brought into the company. There is one Mr. Kulbhushan Gupta, who has also brought in so many of these concepts. Autonomous way of working, TPM, total productive maintenance. So many things which have improved our efficiencies in the pharma company now. And I'm glad that now, beyond the four walls of a factory, we are also looking at lean ways of doing in the commercial space. Many times, even a simple purchase order to be placed by the company has 25 steps before that. You know, from the time a supervisor in the shop floor is asking for a different kind of a scoop, you know, for carrying powder, it takes so many steps like that. So I'm sorry, I'm getting it's too close to my heart. So just one last question I have for you also is that what is the biggest bottleneck you face in decarbonizing your facility?
The biggest bottleneck is the cost. Green comes with a premium, that is green premium. So, like you say,
Carbon.
yeah, so
Somebody
green.
said green carbon, black carbon. Yeah. So
So definitely, the initial capex is tremendously high, and the ROI, what you gonna take the ROI from that will take definitely 5 to 7 years, depending upon the size of the organization and all. One particular bottleneck is cost, definitely, because we need to see, there could be an existing facility, okay, and which will be running a batch processing, and switching that to an alternative systems of continuous flow system or any other production planning. Definitely, one should have to think, we have already invested billions of money on the plant or establishment regulations for that, getting in accreditations for that. So switching that is one bottleneck. And the second thing is...
Thank you. I'll stop there. You have already told about the cost. Now to Ramkumar and you. Now, what do you think the second and third could be out of technical constraints, mindsets, and compliance complexity? Which of these three do you think ranks next to cost? Cost is obviously number one.
I would say for pharma, it's a compliance. If the process is already validated, because R&D, they have certain targets, so they have a certain timelines. The process comes. Then we have a separate functions called operational excellence. We do a lot of CAP programs, but one of the biggest bottleneck is the filing. So if it is a minor change, we can able to sail through it. Sure. And some major changes, we have to change the route. Then it comes. Then we have to inform our customers. It affects their filing. So we will not be able to implement the major change. So that's one of the bottleneck in pharma, especially if it is a validated products. That's very
if you are doing it post validation, yes, it is. So you agree with him?
Yeah, compliance challenge is something definitely, because I earlier talked about our initiatives on using sustainable blisters, packing material like PE material. No? So for blisters, we are not able to change it like this. We have to first go with the stability of this product, and after successful stability, then we can switch over to that material.
Yeah.
So we cannot go it, but we can have like what we can do it immediately in a next 12 months or next 24 months and next 36 months, like that. We can plan and do that. So small initiatives you can just target immediately, but long lead time items you can start earlier. That's the key.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, because this whole discussion about sustainability is not truly only about sustainability. What you said just now is about better planning, better leadership, better execution. Everything folds into finally, making yourself successful in this world. So all of that may be looking difficult to many of us, many of our organizations. But let me tell you, in 2020, AstraZeneca had one UK plant in the town called, it starts with M something. There, they have made themselves 99.5% carbon emission free. Sorry? No, this is in UK. I have the name, I can tell you. Mac, somebody said here? M, starts with M, something. So, but then it's possible. So it gives me a lot of encouragement that it is possible. It's not difficult. And so let's go with that positive note that we can do it, certainly. We have overshot the time much. Thank you very much, this whole distinguished panel, for giving us a lot of thoughts and inputs about what could be done in terms of the processing, manufacturing, R&D, everything about pharma products with the sustainability and for making our children and our grandchildren live peacefully. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Venkat. I couldn't have asked a better moderator, and I'm very glad you accepted our invitation. And in fact, we both shared several times days together in multiple platforms. I'm so happy that he conducted this very vibrant session, very engaging and insightful, and equally the panelists also, dear friends Sandeep, Ram Kumar, and Revnuri also. And in fact, they gave practical examples actually, and which gave food for thought. And we all need to go back and seriously evaluate our HVAC and utility systems. What is the current status? Not that we are not doing them, not that we are not observing them, but we need to have a micro study once again in a third eye point of view, not the way we look at it every day, because everything looks very same and very in order. But when somebody, a third party, looks, I think it is very different. With simple corrections, definitely the cost will be the big one. For making a big leap, we need to invest in capital projects. Before that, at least, we need to, how we can quickly jump to another 20% efficiency by making better use of the current HVAC systems and utility systems. That will be one observation I can give from my side. Definitely in the closing session, I'm sure all of you promised me that to stay till the evening, because there are vibrant sessions in the afternoon, very versatile luminaries, right from Director Heterodrugs, Bhaskar, my dear friend. We have Rajaram Iyer, Executive Director of Laurus Laboratories. Apart from so many guys, General Pharma, Gravity Pharma, the heads of operations, Pi Health Sciences, Amneal, Granules, Maitri Drugs, Indu Drugs, Apitura, Aravindo is already there, and Coring Technologies. So many luminaries are there, interesting topics are there in the afternoon. We break for a quick lunch. The organizers gave me only 30 minutes time, but okay, 45 minutes we can. But shortly by 2 o'clock we will assemble back. That gives a clean 48 minutes time for us to have a better networking and interaction, and hope not, what can I say? It's an excellent gathering. I'm so thankful once again for all of you. Thank you very much. We break for lunch now.